would you be a yes or a no to this trade?
If I'm the Lakers, I would absolutely be a yes, temporarily, because theoretically, Skip, you would have Kevin Durant under contract for this season and 3 more seasons. And LeBron James isn't under contract after this season. But we all know how that goes when Kevin Durant's under contract. He might be unhappy, and then guess what? He'll be gone after the first year. It doesn't make sense for the Nets, Skip, because, like I said, LeBron is only under contract for this season, and he'll be gone, and you have an asset in Kevin Durant. And you've been preaching since day one. Josiah, what are you thinking? Why would you trade Kevin Durant when you have him under contract for 4 more years? Kevin Durant, why would he want to go to L.A., Skip, and reunite with Russell Westbrook when you said 5 years ago the reason why he left OKC was because of Russell Westbrook? LeBron, why would he want to go to the Nets? Yes, Kyrie's there, and they had a great basketball relationship. But he's going to leave one guy in Russell Westbrook who can't shoot for another guy in Ben Simmons who's afraid to shoot. That makes sense for LeBron. How? LeBron has had 3 opportunities as a free agent to join any of the New York teams. He was a free agent. He left to go to Miami. He didn't even give him a passing thought. He was a free agent and went back to Cleveland. He didn't give him a passing thought. He was a free agent and went to L.A. He didn't give him a passing thought. And now somehow you think in year 20 he would be excited to play in New York. He likes playing in the Garden. He does. Everybody likes playing in the Garden, from Jordan to Kobe, and some of the biggest performance, not just athletic-wise, has happened in the Garden. But for me, Skip, when I look at it, I don't think either guy would be happy with the trade. I don't think Kevin Durant wants any part of playing in L.A. with the scrutiny that comes along with being a superstar playing for the Lakers. And LeBron wants no parts of being in Brooklyn or New York, any part of New York. So for me, Skip, it doesn't make sense. I get it. 2 big superstars for a superstar. Yeah, you're probably not going to have it because the salaries match up, and you're not going to have to give up any other compensation other than the player swap. One player goes here, the other player goes there. But when you look at it in its totality and what transpired, it doesn't make sense to me.
Okay, Shannon Sharpe, I tell you many days on the show that I go into every evening as we look over the topics that we have, and then we go into the game-watching part of the evening, and I continue to read breaking news stories and digest them, compute them, eyes wide open. What is really going on here? So I'm just an open book every night as I watch things transpire up on the TV screen and down on my computer screen.
Okay.
And when this story popped up last night on Bleacher Report, I always read it with eyes wide open.
Okay.
Oftentimes on these kinds of stories, I get quickly skeptical, like, wait a second, that's just ridiculous.
Right.
And many times
somebody just throwing something out there.
I get about halfway through and I say, next. I'm wasting my time on this and my breath. As I read through this one, and I read point after point after point, I kept waiting to say no, and I said yes, 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 yes. I got to the bottom of this one, and I said, you know what? This has been hiding in plain sight. The most obvious trade of all was the least obvious because no one really thought to say, well, wait a second, why are we talking only about Kyrie? Why are we just fixated on Westbrook? Who are the big guns here? Who are the 2 principals here? Well, it's KD, who I think is the best player on the planet, and LeBron James, whom you still think is the GOAT.
Yeah.
Somehow I think he's the phony GOAT. But those are the 2 biggest names in basketball, and their salaries effectively match straight up. And if you look harder and harder at their plights right now, again, I've been dug in on this point and principle that if I'm Josiah, as you point out, I can say, Kevin, I got you for 4 more years.
Yes.
And in good faith, we signed a contract.
Right.
You owe me at least a couple of those 4 years. I'm going to force your hand to stay here and play. But you've told me repeatedly from that side of the table, Kevin's not going to sit still for that. His brother told me pointedly on Twitter, he's not going to sit still for that because he gave it a hell with that, did the brother, and a hell with me for saying that Josiah would keep him in Brooklyn, right?
Well, if I'm Josiah, I'll get on my Twitter and I'm going to tweet, Kevin Durant, P&P, pout and play. That's what you're going to be in Brooklyn this year, pout and play.
Shannon Sharpe has been telling me that it's only going to be pout. There's going to be way more pout than play, and it will not effectively, in the end, be worth it to Joe Tsai to force him to play.
I don't believe he'll be one, Skip. I don't believe he'll be one of those guys where, although he'll be pouting, he'll be disappointed that he didn't get moved. I don't think it will affect his play. I don't think Kevin Durant will lash out.
So now you're starting to trend back toward my take, my original take,
but I don't,
that he's going to be a net next year, whether he likes it or not.
Skip, I don't know if I'm just saying, I don't believe, Skip. Now, you know, like some people, like if they don't get their way, they're going to make things very uncomfortable. And I think you'll get the sense that Kevin Durant doesn't want to be there. But as far as lashing out or his behavior that becomes destructive to the team, I don't believe Kevin Durant would do that. Would he be pouting? Yes. Would he be mopey? Absolutely. But he's still going to come out there and drop 29, 30 on you.
Okay, I got it. And I agree with that premise here. But if I operate under the premise that he'll effectively not ever be quite happy,
well, that's everywhere you're going to go.
Okay, if in truth that I believe that KD and Kyrie have fallen out, as in fallen apart, as in bridges at least on fire, if not completely burned, then all of a sudden it starts to make more and more sense to look harder and harder at the trade that was hiding in plain sight, because salaries match, and then let's do LeBron first. It would not hurt him to play the Palace, as I call it. You can say he's playing for the Brooklyn Nets as opposed to the New York Knicks. But Brooklyn is still a borough of New York City. You are still in the Big Apple market, right? Right. It would not hurt LeBron's legacy or his aura to at least play a couple of years in the Big Apple. It would. I get you that he passed. He gave it a passing thought, passing thought, passing thought. I got that. He's going on 38 years of age. Yes. He's going into year 20. It wouldn't hurt to cap it off in the Big Apple. I'm just saying, it wouldn't be the worst thing. It's not like he's going to go to Seattle or something. No offense to Seattle, but it wouldn't. It's not like he's going off, sort of off the grid to some city where you'd say, what? Even though he started in Cleveland, but he grew up near Cleveland. Correct. So that was cool. That worked. Right. All right. Now we look at what would happen. Well, he gets out from under Westbrook. He gets to leave it all behind, and he gets to get out from under a roster that doesn't suit his skills.
Seth Curry, Joe Harris, they're trying to get rid of Joe Harris.
Okay, but all he did was win three-point shooting contest, right?
But that's not what you were saying last year when he couldn't throw it in the ocean against Milwaukee.
But during the regular season, he can snipe it, man. I'm not talking about when push comes to shove. Yeah. Taking the Kyle Korver shot from the corner that I said, what are you doing?
I just wanted to make some routine shots when he was wide open.
Okay, but you're talking about against Milwaukee in the playoffs, right? Yeah. Against the eventual NBA champion. Yeah. Patty Mills will make big shots. I don't care what you say. He takes and makes
Well, he ain't making none against Boston.
Well, okay, so it was just one series, and it fell back on KD and Kyrie. Listen, if you're trying to diss Patty Mills right now, you have no idea what you're talking about. No. That little man has made as many big shots as anybody I know. Skip. Listen, over time, he shot your Miami Heat right through the heart.
He's made big shots, and he can make big shots. I thought, and I said it, Skip, at the time of his signing, I said this is a very unheralded signing, but it's going to pay huge dividends when you got Harden, KD, and Kyrie.
Okay, well, Seth can just flat out shoot it. I don't care. He's got some Curry in him.
Yes, he does. But what transpired? The same thing that transpired with Joe Harris happened with Seth Curry. They become defensive liabilities. What did Boston do? Okay. Who did they attack?
Okay, I got you. But I'm going to finish this out. Cam Thomas, every time I watch him, even in the summer league, he can flat out
he's a scorer.
He's just a scorer.
He go get buckets.
And he's still just a baby to me, and he's figuring it out. I'm just telling you, they have ability all around the perimeter that LeBron doesn't have right now, because he's stuck with the guy in Westbrook who was the dead last three-point shooter in all of basketball. I'm talking about statistically 29.7%.
Even at that, he's not worse than Ben Simmons from the three.
Okay, thank you for bringing up Ben Simmons. Who has LeBron said is like a little brother to him? Who has he, quote-unquote, mentored? Who is a clutch client who knows LeBron very well, who has like a soul connection with LeBron James? It's Ben Simmons. So if anybody can sort of rehabilitate Ben psychologically, it's LeBron.
Yeah.
And all Ben Simmons is the last 2 years that he played, he made first-team all-defense. He's a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. You don't think that's going to help them?
But you believe that the large part of the season last year had more to do with this than back there.
I do. I don't know that for a fact, but if it's this that's the problem, LeBron, of all players, can fix that, especially for him. You don't think so? I'm making a strong case here because you know I'm right about this. If anybody can get the best out of Ben Simmons, it's LeBron James. And there's a whole lot of best to get out of him.
Okay, you keep saying LeBron wants to get out from under Russ. Didn't KD get out from under Russ?
Okay, let's finish this side of it. Let's do this side of the trade.
Okay.
They have already gone out and gotten Royce O'Neal, who will help their perimeter defense exponentially. He's a really good perimeter defender, and they got him just for that reason. And then they signed Nicky Claxton, who he can rim protect.
Yeah.
He's still a little light in the back end, but he is a shot blocker and a shot changer. So you've done that, and then T.J. Warren is sort of like a diamond in the rough. I don't know what he's been hurt, but
he's been hurt the last 2 years.
I know, but he is a flat-out natural-born scorer himself and a shooter. So they've got lots of little pieces in place. And what has been, according to all the reports, LeBron has been rooting for, pushing for, playing with Kyrie.
Yeah, in L.A., not in Brooklyn.
Okay, I got it. But he could reunite with Kyrie in Brooklyn, in the Big Apple. It would make Kyrie happy because Kyrie wants to close the narrative on LeBron, come full circle because he regrets that he blew it up prematurely. That's the whole point of this, right?
I will agree with that, yeah.
I think they could be really good together after Kyrie has, quote-unquote, grown up. I'm not sure he has, but he's grown up in his view of LeBron, right? Okay, so all that works for me because all of a sudden, the East is still not as difficult as the West. I don't care what you say. The West just seems to get stronger and stronger at the top. So what chance does LeBron have of actually contending for a championship next year in L.A.? Next to none.
The same as Kevin Durant has.
Okay, what are you talking about? Kevin Durant, where?
Why you won't mention Ben Simmons? You keep saying Kyrie.
I didn't mention him. I detailed him. I just told you.
He can't.
Hey, listen, you keep bashing Ben Simmons. All he did was win Rookie of the Year. He made 3 straight All-Star teams. He made 2 straight first-team All-Defenses.
And became unplayable.
Okay, because he got the demons in his head.
Okay, what makes you think he's gotten rid of those demons?
LeBron James.
Oh, my God, stop.
That's why.
Now all of a sudden, LeBron can cure everything, every element of every player.
I'm trying to help you.
You ain't trying to help me.
Yes, I am.
No, this is what you
would be perfect for LeBron. All of a sudden, he would be back in business. Where do you think they'd be in the odds? They'd be 2nd, 3rd, 4th. They'd be somewhere in the top of the odds with that team.
This is what you want to transpire. I see what you're doing from a distance. I'm
not doing anything.
You want LeBron. You want this trade to go through, so then you can say Michael Jeffrey Jordan never got traded. Larry Bird never got traded. Yes, you would. Yes, you would.
False.
This is what you're trying to do.
Don't put that in my mouth. That is not what I'm trying to do.
All of a sudden now, here's the trade that's hiding in plain sight. Kevin Durant has 4 years left on his contract. Who's to say after 1 year he's going to be unhappy again? And you traded away LeBron James, who only has 1 year on his contract, when I had Kevin Durant for this year plus 3 more. It doesn't make sense. Yeah, it lines up salary-wise. It lines up superstar for superstar. But other than that, it makes no sense.
It makes every bit of sense. And unfortunately for you, I backed you into another corner because you know I'm right. I'm blindsiding you with how right I am. Okay, now let's flip it to the KD side of it. He's got 4 years left. He's 4 years younger than LeBron James. So if I'm the Lakers, I'm like, thank you, God, because all they have next year is to say, we got LeBron passing Kareem for the all-time scoring record. It's a bunch of phony baloney. It's a longevity stat that I don't care about. Maybe some of the blind billion.
Everybody cares about it. So now the scoring record. I love how when
let me finish. I think it's my turn to talk after you've been spewing all your baloney over there. Okay, so now you got Kevin Durant to reunite with Russell Westbrook, which he will not love, although many reports say they have mended their fence. I have no idea, but here's the point. Here's what you'd sell to Kevin. after we get rid of Russ, we're stuck with him for one more year because Jeannie says, well, that was LeBron's doing. We made our bed with him. We got to pay him $47 million. Let's just suck it up and get through it. And once you get LeBron out of L.A., then at least Russ can reassume his role as the point guard. And I've told you before, what can happen with Darvin Ham being the new sheriff in town, you don't have to play Russ as high a minutes as Frank Vogel was intimidated into doing. I told you, Scottie Pippen Jr. can flat out run the point. He knows how to play basketball. You can give him 15 to 20 minutes a game to run the point. Use Russ as some sort of 2 or 3 guard or whatever he is. I don't even know what he is anymore. Muddle through next year. Just because you have the best player on the planet, you're still going to be very good. You might surprise people, but once you get out from under $47.1 million, look out above, because here will come the Lakers, because they can go get anybody they want to add to Kevin Durant and Anthony Davis and all the rest that they have assembled.
But you say that with guaranteed certainty. Kevin Durant's going to be happy and want to be in L.A. So why would he?
If he wants out, you're getting him to Los Angeles, where, by the way, he has an off-season home. Skip, who wouldn't be happy?
He wanted out of OKC. He left. He wanted out of Golden State. He left. Now he wants out of Brooklyn. He's about to leave. So now all of a sudden, he's wanted out of 3 places. 2 of the places he's already left. He could possibly leave a 3rd. So if he goes to L.A., that means he would have left 3 places. But this is where he's going to find his bliss. This is where he's going to find his utopia.
Okay, well, if he wants out, you told me he wants out of Brooklyn. You've told me for 2 straight weeks. Skip, you just can't make him stay in Brooklyn. Okay, send him to the Lakers where he's got a home. You don't think he'd be happy with that?
So he ain't got no home in New York.
I don't know what he has there. It's probably like an apartment.
Okay, but my thing is, Skip, you keep saying send him, send him, send him. What makes you think he's gonna be happy once he gets to this destination?
Well, you just told me he's not an unhappy camper. He'll do whatever happens. Like he'll go ahead and suck it up. He's not a powder. He's more of a player. So if you send him to Anthony Davis, he'll say, okay, let's go.
So in other words, he'll say, let's go, but he won't do that in Brooklyn. Because I'm asking you a simple question. You keep telling me he's this, this, and this. What makes you think, given Kevin Durant's history, his 15-year career history, the last 10 of them, he's been unhappy about something. What makes you think all of a sudden he's going to be happy in L.A.?
Because it's L.A., because it's the Lakers, because you have a chance to compete for another championship.
Skip the man.
Listen, if he goes to L.A., and I know this is very hypothetical, I don't think it's going to happen, because I think Josiah's going to say no. I've been on record from moment 1 about that. But if he went to L.A., I am guaranteeing you, he would be very happy, because within 1 more year, they would be at the top of the heap. That they will be contending for He would have 3 more years to contend for a championship, and I believe they would win 1 or 2.
Skip, can you have it any better than what he had it in Golden State?
Okay, but he did that. He already been there, done that.
But you keep saying happy.
They begged him to come and save Steph's legacy, and he saved it twice, 17 and 18. Finals MVP.
But you keep saying happy. How much more happy can a guy be?
I don't care. I don't know. I mean, to go to the Lakers and get to play with Anthony Davis? I mean, come on.
He was playing with his best friend in Brooklyn.
Okay, well, obviously, I just told you, they have clearly fallen completely apart. They've gone Splitsville. He wants out. He already requested. Why do you think he requested a trade out from under Kyrie?
Because he's unhappy. Okay. The same reason he left OKC.
Okay, well, I don't care about his unhappiness. All he did was win back-to-back Finals MVPs. Okay. How unhappy was that?
Skip, okay then. But he still wasn't enough to make him stay. So what's the problem? Okay, so what's causing him to leave Brooklyn?
Well, you tell me.
I don't know. No, you tell me. Well, you seem to have the psychiatrist.
You're the one who, over the last 2 weeks, you told me, Skip, it just won't work anymore. He wants out. You got to let him go.
Skip, the man.
You got to let him go. That's what you've been telling me. And all of a sudden, you flipped again.
Skip. The man requested a trade.
Okay.
If he was happy, people that are happy in their current job situation don't go looking for another job or ask to leave this job. Clearly, he's unhappy there.
Okay. Do you think he'd veto a trade to the Lakers?
He doesn't have veto power. He has no trade.
Okay. Well, he doesn't have any. He's got 4 years on his contract right now, and you're saying you got to move him. Which side of your mouth are you talking out of?
Skip.
I don't get it.
Skip, what I'm saying is, the man requested a trade.
Okay, so this is a beautiful one right here. This one works.
It would work for the Lakers because they have Kevin Durant for 4 years under contract, even though he's probably only going to make it 2 before he's unhappy again. Okay, the Nets give up Kevin Durant, who has 4 years, for LeBron, who only has this year. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, because the Nets are right back in business this year. It's an immediate turnaround to yes.
Oh, so in other words, LeBron James is better than Kevin Durant because why can't Kevin Durant turn it around just like that?
East. And I'm here to tell, I've already made it clear to you, the Lakers are suddenly better with KD than they'll ever be with LeBron.
Well, I mean, the stats said that the Nets would be three wins better with LeBron than KD.
Okay. Who says that? That's
John
stats.
Hollinger, analytics analyst.
Okay. That's just some projection.
No, that's not a projection. That's what we do. We talk about projections.
Okay, okay, wait a second. Let me get you on record. Who is the better player right now, Kevin Durant or LeBron James? It's not close. It's Kevin.
It's 6 in one hand, half a dozen.
No,
I couldn't tell. Skip, if he Skip,
okay.
Your man got swept. Your man got swept.
He's 4 years younger. I've seen LeBron get swept many times.
In finals.
Many times.
In finals.
Yep.
In finals.
So
not the first round.
Okay, well then it's worse on LeBron's part.
Skip. So in other words, it's worse to get swept in the the finals than the first round.
Well, again, you're discounting the Kyrie issue.
Not
He wouldn't get vaccinated. Well, you agreed with that. You said they're sick and tired of his bull jive. That's what you've been telling me. He tore them apart.
But also, Ben
Simmons couldn't play.
Skip, there are other things.
Ben Simmons is really good.
There's other things other than the vaccine that was going on behind the scenes with Kyrie.
Thank you.
I'm saying, but Kevin Durant, if Kevin Durant is what you said, now you keep saying, oh, Kyrie and the vaccine. Kyrie came back. They welcomed him back, and he was able to play. He didn't miss any time come playoffs. So what transpired? Why did he get swept in the playoffs?
They were wrecked psychologically from the start. And again, they had a big 3 with James Harden, and all of a sudden it went down to just 2. Am I right? But just 2.
And just FYI, Kevin Durant is 4 years younger, but he's injured more than LeBron James.
Okay, I'll give you that. But what if he stays healthy?
But see, what if you keep doing these what ifs?
Stayed healthy in 2017 and 18. I saw it.
And what in 2019?
He went into LeBron's house and flat out outplayed him twice.
Was he healthy in 2020?
Is Kevin Durant.
Was he healthy in 2019 and 2020? And was he healthy last year?
Okay, what happened in 2019 when he suddenly made his appearance in the finals? Even you came in here the next day and said, boy, it was looking like he was turning the whole series around.
Skip, Kevin Durant is a great player. I've never said that he wasn't a great player. But what you do is that when Kevin Durant falters, you make every excuse. It's James Harden, it's Kyrie, it's Russ. Kevin Durant, and that's why Kevin Durant wants no parts of L.A. Because the Laker Nation will hold your ass accountable. They don't care who you are. And he wants no part of that because Kevin Durant has never been held accountable for when he plays poorly.
Okay, well, I did. I called him Kevin Durant, and he had a really bad series, just the way LeBron's had many more bad series. LeBron has had some all-time epic meltdowns.
I'm just trying to figure out how does he go from Kevin Durant, he's not the best player in the NBA, to getting swept, and all of a sudden, a month later, he's the best player again, and he didn't play another game, and he got swept out of the playoffs.
Did anybody step up and take that pedestal from him?
Steph Curry stepped up.
The guy who was 2 out of 10 from 3 in the fourth quarters of the finals.
See what you did?
Who stunk it up down the stretch of Game 1 and Game 3 in the finals and almost put his team in a hole.
Average 31, 6, and 5. That's what he did.
You love those overall stats.
31, 6, and 5.
All misleading.
What did KD average in the fourth quarter? What did he average? What did he shoot from the 3?
We got to leave this one
forgot.
here,
We're not talking about Kevin Durant.
You are on fire this morning. I love every second of it, but we have a lot more topics for you to wrestle over.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.